In your front cabinet, you have your battery area. So your 2 batteries are there. And that is your pump for the hydraulic system. So you got to maintain the level on that. You can see where the level is right now. We're pretty level. And with the jacks down like that, you can see where they are. It's prepped for generator already. All right. That's that cabinet. You have your specs right here of your weights and VIN numbers and everything. In here you have your 2 propane tanks, and your main disconnect is right here. Which all you do is turn it, pull it out, and it will disconnect. You have your regulator here, which is pointing to this tank first. Red means it's off or it's empty. When it goes back on, you'll see that it will go to clear. I recommend putting both tanks on. That way, if this one goes low, this one's always can transfer over. Next cabinet. In this compartment, you have your storage that goes all the way across. You have your bottle for your fresh water for your sink area. This is the outside hose connection, which goes into here. You have filters inside with the when this is ready to drain and dewinterize. The filter is inside in a drawer. Would go in here just like a house filter. You have your holding tanks, your 2 grays and your black. Of course, you're going to do your black first, close it, and then do your 2 grays to clean out your sewer hose. You have access to your, so you can go through here and through this hole down in here to bring up your city water connection and your cable TV connection. This is also for the black tank flush, which is when you have to have the valve open, as it states here, when you put the water pressure on that. Currently, this is in winterization mode. For normal camping, you'll put it in that mode for city water. For dry camping, you will put it in this mode here as the label indicates. And to fill your fresh water tank, you will do it in here. You have your connections for your cable, satellite, and auxiliary. This is for the jacks, which I'll go over separately. And this is for your solar, to be able to hook up a solar panel so that you can maintain the batteries. This is also here for your water pump, which would be only used for dry camping, and that light will come on. Okay. The next is you got your heater here, and your hot water heater is here. Your drain for your hot water heater is right here. You just have to make sure you release the pressure valve so that you do not get soaked when you drain your water. You can wash this whole area. There's no problem with getting this wet in here. It's all controlled by inside. You do want to make sure that the tube is clean and bugs and vacuum it out. Same with this. You want to make sure bugs don't get into this and vacuum it out. I do not recommend screens on it. And we have a slide here. This is a Swintech. You do not lubricate this. You just wash it with soap and water. This one is Slim Rack, and you do the same thing. Just wash it with soap and water and hose it down. This is the back of the refrigerator. So you have access, since it is a residential refrigerator. This is your line that goes to that little tank in there for the water system in your refrigerator. Your antenna. That's the exhaust vent for your range hood. You can see that it's open right now. For traveling, you want to lock that closed, and when you're not using it, lock it closed to keep bugs out and things to that nature. So you're going to need a step ladder with this unit also. Wouldn't hurt to have. And that.
Go ahead.
To pull out the power cord, you can pull it out. Now, when you put it back in, you are going to have to make sure that it is very tight on the spool. And to retract it is right here. You got to make sure it's real tight on the spool, because otherwise you have a potential of it binding for the first up in the top, up in the seat, up in the roof, up in here, which you may not be able to see, but it is very tight up there. Got to make sure these are tight. It has some make sure all those are tight as I'm doing it. Keeping a little tension on them. Okay, and then it will come back. Yeah, that's what it was. And we'll leave it like that because they're for when you come and pick it up. And then you would take this off and put that inside. Have your ladder to access the roof to inspect it. You have a backup camera there, which to operate that you have to make sure that the parking lights are on your vehicle when you're plugged in, so it'll put the 12 volts to that to operate it. You have an outside grill connection, low pressure, and this is to get the spare tire down. There's a hand crank in there. Way under, you can see there's a white valve there. That is the low point drain for your fresh water tank. You have your TV for out here, and if you were to put a satellite box in, they have a hookup for satellite. You have your two speakers. You have a low point drain. The low point drains are inside this compartment here. You have the outside shower right here that you can use that blue hose that was on the other side. This is a sensor for the temperature. These are magnets that hold this up. This is your crank for your spare tire. You have a 110 outlet here that you can go through the sides and down there to plug something in. You have your vacuum, the bags you can order online. There is, I believe, one in there. You have also access so you can put another TV right here, and that. Your access for the low point drains are behind this cabinet. You have to take the screw out, and they're in there. All the other accessories, that wiring and all that, are all back in there also. And you have your third tank, your spare tank, right there. Now for the steps, you got to make sure when you open and close this that you lock this in the open position to put up the steps. Otherwise, you'll damage the door. And these, to adjust the height, is just a pin that goes in and out. For both sides. Okay. You have one awning, two awnings that will come out, and I'll open up one of them through a switch on the controls. On here you have your different slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, your awning 1 and awning 2, and extend and retract. So awning 2 is the little one. We'll take that out real quick so you can see what to adjust it, the slope in that. To adjust and lock it in place, you have to lock these, and to slope it, you pull down and you lock it. Now, when you close it back up, you have to have these loose and this all the way out. Your model numbers for the awnings and that are on the tube. And recommend silicone spray on those at the joints to lubricate. Bring that back in. Retract. And you just have to hold the button until it comes all the way in. Okay. Your screen door, to unlock it off the door, this is pulling that. You have a shade and blind in there, and this will automatically do a lock on when you close the door. That's your deadbolt that you can lock on the inside. And come in here, you have your vacuum and your hose. This is a sweep, that's for the hose. And this is vents for your equipment that are underneath. For the leveling system, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up taking it off your vehicle first by just moving the front jacks. So you will put the power on, and you'll use this as front, and it's either up or down for the unit to go up and down. Then pull your vehicle out, okay, and make sure that you'll probably try to get as level as possible where you're camping. What you really want to do is try to level, if it's a off-level unit site, you want to try to level the tires side to side to try to get the side as level as possible prior to putting the jacks down. The jacks are used for stabilizing more so than lifting. They're not really designed, you don't want to take the tires off the ground. So then, once you get it level, and add as much as you can side to side, then you can hit the auto level. Now, you should be doing this with the slides all in and everything. If the feet do not hit the ground, You will see it says excessive slope. If the batteries are low, it will tell you low voltage. And then when it's in operating mode, that light will come on. If the feet do not hit the ground, then hit retract all, put some blocks underneath of them, and then re-level by using the auto level. If you're just going overnight at one spot, I wouldn't worry about putting all the jacks down. Just put your front jacks and try to get it level front to back. And that way you can easily go to the next day easily without having to worry about lifting all the jacks up. You can also, they have an app that's on your cell phone that you can do. And you can also go to their website to clarify a lot of this if you forget some of this. You also have, I'm looking here when I'm looking at the jacks, we also have your sewer connections here. And you have there, so you have all manual. This is for storage. That's where a Santa flush unit would go, but that would be your sewer connection right there. And that right now is about it. We'll go into the bedroom. You have your blinds all throughout the unit. This is an emergency window, which you can actually use as a regular window, like that. You have your TV and all your storage on here. These on off, there's 2 of them here, 2 of them inside. They are your returns for the air conditioner. You have to keep them clean. You have your drawers, your cabinetry there. You have your cabinetry in here, which just pulls off and slides over. And it's automatic. So you can hang and all your storage. You also have an outlet here for the washer and dryer if you were to add, and your plumbing for the washer and dryer. Just make sure when somebody winterizes it, they make sure that they get them. And for traveling, you can see right now the poles are down because there's no weight on them. And that light is automatic, will go back off in time. And you want to make sure that these are always closed for traveling. You have switches on that wall and switches on this wall for the lights and everything. And you also have your slides on this. If you take these 2 slides and pull up, that's how you pull the window up, and you can lock it in place and just make sure it's down to seal it. You have your internet Wi-Fi extender right here, and underneath the bed is your vacuum hoses and your spare chairs for the dinette. And you also have power down on the floor for 110. Since these are reachable when you're with your air conditioner, all these are rotatable and can be positioned where you need it, but make sure that they're all open the same amount throughout the unit so that the air pressure is the same throughout. You also have a sensor here for temperature. And I always recommend keeping the bedroom door closed when traveling also. Now, your bathroom, you have a latch here that pulls out, and then you can pull this, and this magnet should be pretty strong. And latch it up when you are not using it so you don't foul it up when you travel. You have storage all in here, storage up in here. Your bath and your toilet, I recommend for number 1 bowl. For number 2 bowls. And you can come up to somewhere like in this area here if you want to put an indicator on there, but fill the bowl up and use it that way. And to pedal, push down partially to put water in it, all the way down to empty it. You have your GFI outlet here for there, and then you also have your cabinetry there, cabinetry here, your light switch for that, and then also your ceiling fan switch is right here. And you do have to, you can turn it on and off here, and to open and close it is right here. To clean the screen, you just rotate these little tabs 90 degrees or 180 degrees, and this will come out. You got your shower here. The shower head is down on the ground, and that's how I'd recommend it when you travel. And you got to make sure this is secured when traveling, because these are actual glass. If you want to put some something in between here, it would not be a bad idea. You could use a piece of wood, a piece of noodle, one of those noodles, and that to keep this in case this happens to pop off. But you got to make sure that's secured so these glass doors don't break. We have the LP detector and carbon monoxide detector there. You have your inverter controls right here, which for your refrigerator, this has to be on for the refrigerator to function. When you're not traveling in that, you want to turn this off, because that is like your house. It will stay cold for a couple days without by itself. You don't need it on when you're traveling. You don't need this on when you're traveling. Get it cold, put cold stuff in it. It's an ISA box. Then just turn this on when you get there. To open and close this, to lock it, you have to hit lock. Oops. Lock and measure fill, and hold it until it tells you, and then it's open, unlocks it. To lock it back up, cooling is off. That just tells you what type of ice to do. The lock it is right here, the physical lock, and then you have all your storage and everything in there. You might want to just put a little bungee cord around here just to make sure that if you forget to do this, at least it's double secured. You have storage there. You have your pantry here with a light and light switch for your pantries right there. Make sure this door is closed before you bring this slide in, or you'll bust it. You have a USB port right here. You have storage up in here, and the switch for that light is up in here. You have in the center, you have your 110 and USB. Just pops up. You push that red button and push it right back down. You have your kitchen sink and your little filtered water. You have your trash can, and you have storage. Your covers for your top are right here for safekeeping for traveling. You also have storage in there, and you also have 110 here. You have storage here. Here's the filter and your filter wrench. So you have your drawer for your silverware. You have This is for the hose for winterization, which you can store this anywhere you need to. And your unit also comes with the sensors that work with the computer for air pressure. That's what this is. And you have your other drawer here. You have your light switch and it indicates which ones are what they're for. Let's see here. That's for the dinette, which in different locations in this unit you have different controls to where you can turn them on and off. And you have a 110 connection here. You have a 110 here. You have your lights for this there. You have your storage and your 110 plug for the microwave is in this upper cabinet. This is for the convection part of the microwave. This is a microwave convection, and that's for the convection part of it. You have storage up here. You have storage there. Then you have your microwave, oven, and that. And your exhaust fan is right here. And your lights right here too. Oh, 110 is not plugged. We're not plugged in right now. You have your gas stove. These come off, lift off so you can clean. Place them back in the little holes that they have there, so they don't rattle around. You have a metal blind here because of the stove. Let me check the. I thought the ones back to this area. All right, microwave. Your exhaust fan. The switch is here. You have your 2 speeds and your light for underneath. You have your stove, which you have an oven light here, and you have the lights for here. Now, to operate this, you have your different locations, and all you got to do, as long as the propane's on, which I don't think it is, you could turn that on.
Okay, we're rolling.
All right, to light these, all you're going to do is push in and turn it to the light. I have the propane on. I got to get the air out of it. Oh. I can hear the propane.
Turn the furnace on.
Yep. Let me do that. Sometimes after you get new propane, you have to turn the different things on. So we'll turn the furnace on. Put the heat on. Put it up. To light these, you got to make sure you have the propane on, and you just push it in and turn it to the high, medium, and you can adjust the flame. That would be the same for all 4 of them. For the oven, it's the center one, and you put it to the flame right here on the button, the black flame. And this might take a little bit to light. You can see a spark down under in the hole there. There it goes. There's the pilot. Let it off, and then you once the pilot's lit, give it a second or 2, and then turn it to the flame, and you can see it's going up. And you can feel the heat. There you go. Yep, right there. Okay, and then we can turn it off. I can feel the heat coming out. And There's a little drawer right there. Okay. Where the other two chairs are up underneath the bed, you have storage underneath each of them. They are latched to the slide for traveling. Pull this up, pull that out. It makes a bigger table. You got storage there. You have storage on both sides. You have your day and night blinds all throughout, and all the windows are crank open, and then when you close them, you can do it this way. You have outlets down below for 110. You have your switch for this is right here. The dinette one is on that control panel, the same on the other side. And you have all your other ceilings and the pendulums, pennants in the center. You have your chairs here, which have controls right here for the different controls. That's the lights. And the different control, and a USB port. And this one. There's the button to open it and close it, or these two. And same with that side. On this unit, you have the drop down bunk area, which is controlled by this switch here. You have a light switch for there and the light switch for up above. Put it in, that is your on, and then lower it down. And that's as low as it's going to go. Okay? You have storage here, and then you have your bunk area up top. Put it back up, you just hit the switch up. And when you're not using it, turn the key off. To open this bed, we want to remove this. Those are the protected. Take this and put it over here for right now. Take off the back pieces. Strap this so you don't lose it. Lift up. Pull the legs down. Pull it out. And then flip the back down. And then you can put the back portions back along there for it to support the heads. And it goes right back to square one. You have USB port over here for charging and 110. You have your storage here and your radio. You also have the light switch for there. And in here, by the cable, there's a little button. You can see the green light That's for your TV booster. You need that on to bring the signal in for your TV. So lift the TV up, pull this handle, put it back down, just gently push back down on it, and it will lock in. This is also can be used as a window, even though it's the emergency window. You have your fireplace, which is controlled here and remotely. You have a remote control. Now, with this and your heating system and everything, make sure you have 50 amps when you try to use all the equipment. If you have only 30 amps, only put on certain pieces of equipment. Don't put it all on or you'll pop the circuit breakers. This is your radio and DVD player. The remotes are somewhere. This is your switch for your ceiling fan. This is your switch and controls for the max air vent, which is for when it does help when you're cooking to take some of the extra exhaust out. You also have up in the ceiling, you also have your smoke detector also. Now, this is the major controls.